I've noticed over the years that the comedy routines which I remember best are those that contain material that seem to channel the behaviors from my family when I was a child. In one such bit, one that sticks in my memory, the comedian describes how people in his family go quickly from a regular voice to a whisper when having a conversation containing bad news. Have you heard about the neighbors? Their home had an accidental fire. Sad news about Uncle Joe. He was in a car accident. Yes, my family of origin was known to do this transition from full voice to a hush when tough information was being shared. As an adult, I try not to follow this custom, but I'm sure I still do it. It turns out my family was not alone. In fact, there are plenty of synagogue families, synagogue communities that apply this same practice to a part of Ki Tavo, this week's Torah portion. Chapter 28 of Deuteronomy contains over 50 verses of curses that Moses explains will befall the Israelites if they do not follow God's commandments. Yes, these words are preceded by blessings that Moses says the Israelites will experience if they do observe the commandments. But these positive verses total 11 in number. 11 compared to more than 50. The authors of this section of the Torah clearly were fond of the stick and not the carrot approach to motivating our ancestors. And while the verses describing the blessings are promising, the curses are flat out horrifying. So horrifying that in some communities, but not all, where the entire Torah portion is chanted, it is the custom to chant these curses in a hushed tone, and all at once with no break in between. Synagogues such as ours that only chant some of the weekly Torah portion almost never choose to chant the curses. Yes, like the comic routine I described at the beginning of this teaching, many shuls don't want to vocalize the curses. Now, Torah scholars are less alarmed by what they call in Hebrew the tochacha, which means the warning, the collection of curses in this week's Torah portion. The editors of the Eitz Chaim commentary on the Torah, for example, state promises and threats such as these are well known in the Bible and essential elements of ancient Near Eastern literature and covenants. Editors of the Women's Torah commentary add, the theology of Deuteronomy, which may have been written after Israel was exiled to Babylon, paves the way to explain the destruction of the first temple and exile as resulting from Israel's sins and disobedience. Among these academics, there is no whispering. So why did the custom evolve to read these verses quietly in many synagogues? Why in some shuls in Poland did the person brave enough to have the aliyah for these tochacha, these warning verses, also get the additional honor of an aliyah on Rosh Hashanah? I can imagine the rabbi of that community negotiating with superstitious congregants. Listen, Lisa, here's my offer. You take the aliyah today, and I'll gladly have you ascend the bima in a few weeks at the new year. Do we have a deal? We even have records of some communities where the rabbi took the aliyah in order to avoid any congregant coming too close to these terrifying threats. Another historical document notes a congregation that had the cantor, the chazan, recite an extra an extra Misha Berach for healing after the curse verses were read, with the cantor saying afterwards, may Adonai change the curses into blessings, and may it be God's will. And let us all say amen. Just for good measure tonight. Can't hurt, right? Can I hear an amen from the people here at Central Synagogue? Thank you. Now you may be wondering, are the curses that bad? In my rabbinical opinion, the answer is yes. You can see for yourself in a few minutes when we chant the Torah. So what are we to make of this section of Deuteronomy? This is a question each of us has the opportunity to answer ourselves. With Rosh Hashanah exactly 2 weeks away, with this introspective month of Elul on the Jewish calendar in full swing, I am struck by all the ways our tradition attempts to motivate us to act in a way that's best for us, best for our loved ones, our community, and the larger world, friends and strangers alike. The timeless truth is that our behavior matters, and that is cast in the most dramatic way in this week's portion. It's as if the authors were saying, just in case we have not got your attention yet, have a look at this. Not all of us need this drama, but some of us might. And thus, if it takes this tochacha, this warning to help motivate us, so be it. This said, I don't expect this community, or many others for that matter, to ever shout these verses from the Bima. The trajectory of our tradition over generations has been to accentuate the positive. We're no longer hitting students, young and old, on their knuckles with rulers. Instead, we serve apples with honey. We remind each other of the best we can be with the hopes that it will inspire us to bring out our greatest instincts and actions. As we continue into Elul, a fortnight away from the new Jewish year, I pray we make it our business to be the blessing for ourselves and for others. I pray we are the ones who are doing our best to mitigate the curses surrounding us and our fellow citizens. And I pray that because of our behavior, our hand-to-hand, our heart-to-heart efforts, there results much less whispering of woe in the corridors we inhabit. Instead, may we experience in full voice, with full hearts, love and joy and blessing. Amen.